Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset episode 28. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you enjoy playing Destiny as much as we do, then you're in the right place. This week, it's up for anything 4.0. Join us as we talk King's Fall Challenge Mode, Black Spindles, Weapon Foundries, and exotic light levels. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. This is Arrow Knight, and here with me is Cyborg Sasquatch. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going this lovely Monday evening?
It's going great, dude. Another nice little session to talk about our favorite game.
Of course, that's why we're here, and we're here for our listeners as well. Let you guys know what's going on in the world of Destiny this week, so let's talk some announcements.
Let's do it, man. All
right, man. This week, my geography lesson comes courtesy of Rich from Stoke-on-Trent in the United Kingdom. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, read you guys his email. I thought it was really cool. So, Trent says, "Hey guys, love the show and Happy New Year to you and all the Derp fam." Happy New Year to you too, Rich.
Yes, sir.
He says, "Thought I'd throw my hat in the ring for the geography lesson with my home city, Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. It's definitely not a wealthy place, but it recently placed very high on a survey of the happiest populations in the country. So we're a positive bunch." That's saying something for the UK, if I have to say so myself. It's the home of the pottery industry in the country going way back, and also home to Lemmy from Motorhead, holla, and the captain of the Titanic, along with the Titanic Brewery, who make some awesome ales. It's made up of 6 small towns all joined together, so shout out to all of them. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
I won't forget to mention that Titans are clearly the master race.
Yes.
Normally, I would pick support and magic-style characters, but instead of the Warlock, I decided to change it up when I jumped on board for the Taken King. I have all 3 leveled now on my Xbox, but Titan is still the best. Defender in PvE and skating at people with a shotgun in PvP. Also wanted to briefly contribute to your discussion around settling on a single primary weapon. I hoarded auto rifles when we thought they were going to get a huge buff. I'm still working my way through each one and can't decide which is best. Though, check out the mid-rate of fire Antipodal Hindsight. It's great. And on top of that, I have a vault full of hand cannons, scouts, and pulses, all vying for some attention. It's tough out there for a Guardian. I think I can feel you on that one, Trent. Or Rich, rather. It's pretty tough with that vault limited space, man. I've got all these guns sitting in my vault that I have not even tried because I'm too stuck on this gun or that gun. But I know how it goes, man. But shout out to Rich from sunny Stoke.
Yeah, that's some pretty neat history for one place, man, that one of our listeners is from. I like the Titanic bit.
Yeah,
Very
well,
cool.
those towns in the UK, they're pretty old. I mean, way older than here in America, where everything pretty much comes from 1776 forward, right?
Forward, yeah.
So they got a lot of history to drag on, but thanks, man, for shouting out to us, Rich. Guys, if you want to be featured in the geography lesson, all you have to do is tweet at Destiny Reset. Tell us where you live, what's so special about it, and what your favorite class in Destiny is. You can also email us like Rich did to destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll feature you here in this section.
Yes, just like he did, I just had to bring back up, man, our geography lesson from last week, Mr. Cameron. He did follow up, and as much as I really don't want to do this to you, man, he's a Titan main. So you're 2 out of 3 now, right?
2 out of 3. So guys, last week I took a guess at Cameron's class because I was 2 for 2 at that point. And what did I say? He was a hunter, I think.
Yes.
But Cameron corrected us, and rightly so. He said he mains a Titan, but he does, as many do, play all 3 characters. But he had to give his Titan fam some love. I thought
the Texans might lean towards the Titans.
Yeah, I might need to listen to your counsel on these from now on. But can't get them all right.
Nah, man. No,
All right.
no. That's it's always nice to hear some fellow Titans out there because you Warlocks are everywhere, man.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Yep. We also wanted to mention too, we hadn't in a little while. We kind of just let you guys party it up for the last several weeks, but don't forget, guys, every Friday night from give or take 6 Central in the U.S., whatever time that may be for you Derp Fam listeners out there, till question mark. Friday nights are Derp Fam nights, family nights. So don't forget that. We just kind of, if you can't make it on, no big deal, but we just kind of promote Friday nights as Derp Fam family night. And if you can get on, go for it. And we hope that more of us than normal will be on so that we can kind of meet some new Guardians in the family and have a good time playing.
Jump in, get together, play some Crucible, go do some Court of Orcs, go do a raid, Nightfall, whatever you name it. So it's a good night just to socialize and have fun. Have some drinks together with some Guardians if you like.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know that it's official yet, but Manny had mentioned to us about possibly doing some raid stuff on family nights. So helping some people in the raid, but he'll keep you posted on that, and we'll keep you posted. So Friday nights are the night to do it.
Friday.
Yeah. So Cyborg, how was your reset, dude?
Oh, you got in there quick and you got me, man.
Dude, I didn't even take a breath. After last week, I stalled too much.
My reset was pretty good, man. I kind of had a Destiny heavy week in the front part, and then I was a little preoccupied this weekend, but we did get a lot done at the beginning part of this week, and I had a pretty good time. Starting off, I think me and you ran our first Nightfall together in a while.
Yeah, we did run that one, remember, but I wasn't quite at the level I should be. This was an actual I could contribute to the Nightfall run together.
Yep, so, it was your first Nightfall in weeks, if I remember correctly, right?
It definitely was. It was really cool, too, because actually Manny jumped in with us the first time the three of us had played together, and then he had to drop out just to go help the family out, and Joe jumped in. So we had the whole admin team jumping around, man.
We sure did, man. So we had the Dust Palace this week, and it seems like these burns happen similarly week to week, because I can't count how many times we've had Void and Specialist burn on a Nightfall. And we were loading it up. I was like, wait, what is this? Oh, Void Specialist. All right, Telesto time.
Oh yeah,
broke out that Telesto, man.
And I actually have the Telesto on Xbox. I bought it a few weeks back. So
we were having fun. I was dying a lot because I'm just terrible at PvE,
Man, speaking of that, we'll just go ahead. Well, actually, real quick, reward-wise, I actually remember what I got, man, because it was a Sparrow toolkit.
Right.
And I had just spent $5 on getting rid of my blue Sparrow on my Xbox character I got a pretty cool one. It's like the orange and yellow one that I got, but man, from the toolkit, I was like, man, really, from the Nightfall, I could have used a weapon, but I got the really cool Void one with the Jade Rabbit logo on it.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it was just ironic,
that, actually. What did I get from that? I think I got. Do you remember?
It wasn't Strange Coins, was it?
No.
You got the. Did you get the fusion rifle, or was that Joe that got that? Somebody got the fusion rifle.
Wasn't anything good.
Yeah, the Nightfall's got to be up still a bit, man. But
they got to work on those rewards.
Speaking of running some things, man, you and Darth Digits helped me get my Black Spindle, dude.
We sure did. So Wednesday came up, and everybody's talking about, hey, remember it's Black Spindle Day, and I texted you. I was like, hey, man, we should get you that Black Spindle tonight on Xbox.
I'm so glad you did, dude, because I'm still on PS4 brain where I feel like I have everything and I just don't really think about those missions that come up. Yeah. You messaged me on Twitter and I'm like, dude, thank you. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, man.
So you guys helped me out on that and got me that for sure. So
we got in there. Yeah, it took a couple was it our second or third try?
I think it was our third try.
Yeah.
I realized very quickly, like you said a minute ago, that I need to brush up on my PvE skills. Not only did I have my subclass not spec'd out right, I was thinking there was a walker on the Spindle mission. I was just
Just
PvE,
rusty, man.
Yeah, I need to step out of Trials for a moment, which you've been telling me anyways. I should be doing some raiding, but man, I was like, I've got to play some PvE a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was doing stupid stuff, dude. We just haven't played these like these high challenge missions like this in a while. I mean, I've been doing the raid, but the raid is so specific to each encounter. Like, I kind of just don't think about it anymore. I just know my setups, exactly I know the encounter, but I'm coming back to something like Black Spindle where you really have to get into that mission. You have to think on your feet and, think about what's coming up next, how to use your supers right, and what weapons you need to have, and you're dealing with all these ads. It was kind of crazy, but we finally got it done. I think it took us maybe an hour in total to get through and knock it out, and I was excited because I wanted another shot at the ship because I still haven't gotten this ship. And I was, I have to mention, there's been a post every time this mission has come up about getting the ship after you've already been awarded your Black Spindle. So there's this great cool ship that comes that is possible as a drop reward when you finish this mission. I think it's called the Vienna Singer. Is that right?
I think so.
Don't quote me on that. Really cool looking ship. Well, a lot of people have been speculating that you can't get it again on the same character if you already got your drop for Black Spindle, right?
That's what I've heard.
And then there's people on Reddit and they'll be like, oh yeah, I got it, after I'd run it this many times, but nobody will take a picture or provide like a video or anything because nobody thinks about it. They just go and comment when they see it. So there was this thread on Reddit this week and it was like, guys, if you get it, you have to get a video. Like, we really need to debunk this. And then what ended up happening was somebody paged Cosmo and Deej on Reddit. And Cosmo, I think, came out and said, hey, guys, this is a known bug. It's something that we're working on. So apparently, according to what was said in that thread, if you're trying to get that Vienna Singer ship and you've already been awarded the Black Spindle on that character, apparently it's bugged.
Don't try again for now.
Well, I hesitate to say don't try it again because there's a lot of people saying they can still get it, but maybe the drop rate is screwed up.
We don't have proof. Right?
There's nothing definitive, but at least we got some kind of comment. So, maybe we'll see in another patch, coming up. Maybe they can fix that.
Nothing else, just go on Spindle runs and help the community out, the Derp fam, and maybe you'll get it just for being nice and helping people get there. I really wished you would have got it, Cyborg, for helping me get my Black Spindle.
My satisfaction was in you getting that weapon because it'll come in handy for you later.
Yes, you won't
get you raiding on Xbox, man.
Yeah, you won't be aggravated at me when we run the raid because I'm not putting out enough DPS on some of the bosses, right?
The Spindle's great for some of those bosses, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff, dude.
I actually don't ever use it because my role in the different encounters don't require high DPS from me as like being a primary objective, but all of my raiding buddies use it, so they're all doing DPS and they easily get at least a third more DPS than me when they're doing that on a boss. So
yeah, I remember using that thing. That thing's mean for sure.
Yeah, it's great.
But, I also this week, man, it's so refreshing to have my Xbox character up to where I can play with you guys now. I've been strategically from since day one on that character trying to figure out the quickest way to get Trials ready. And I've gotten, I mentioned on the show last week how many drops I got for Iron Banner. It's just so amazing. Got my character almost up to 300. But the only thing I was missing was a heavy weapon. I still had a blue heavy machine gun. And I went ahead and bought the JLB, I think it's the 47, to see what rolls come out on it next Wednesday. But man, I tell you what, I popped, and I heard people talking about this, but 3 coins, man. Like, I would pop 6 or 7 on PlayStation and almost always get an exotic engram.
Yeah.
I popped, and I don't know if it was the order I did things in. I was going back and forth from Strikes to Crucible, but I popped 11 of those things before I got one. And I was okay with it because I got a heavy exotic engram. I took it back to the tower, and I was just going, please, truth. Please give me the truth. Please,
nice.
give me the truth. The truth, man. I couldn't believe it.
That's going to be so great for trials, man.
I know. It was just like, yes, that is pretty much the last thing I needed, besides a couple primary options. But as far as being able to almost fully, comfortably play trials, that's the one thing
you
I
got
needed.
The try hard toolkit now. You've
Right?
got the 1,000-yard stare.
Yes.
You got the truth. What primaries are you gonna
Well, I'm
probably
using
run?
I would like to have the last word to swap in and out, but I'm using the auto rifle from Iron Banner. I got a 298 to drop.
Yeah,
so
that'll be good.
I've been doing pretty decent with that. But yes, I also got my 1,000-yard.
Yeah, you got that this week too.
Yeah, this has been a week, man, for me and my
kidding.
Xbox characters. So we were hoping we could run some trials this weekend. We'll talk about trials in a little bit, but maybe next weekend, dude. You and I are gonna jump in and start having some fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We'll tell you guys all about it. I'm sure you'll stream it too.
Yes, we're gonna have to stream it, man. Yes. Well, I just recently, and I was gonna tell you this. Terry and Tattoo and I were talking, and I was still running default controls. Friday night, and I was kind of like, if we jumped in trials, I was gonna give you a warning. Just Friday night, I switched to bumper jumper controls.
Oh, really?
And I don't know what controls do you run?
I run default.
Yeah, man, I do really well with the default controls, but I switched to it, man, and being able to jump with L1. The only thing that's throwing me off is my melee is R3. I like crouch to be R3. But being able to jump with the left, the LB bumper button, man, you can maneuver like crazy. Being able to keep both your thumbs on the sticks, dude.
Right.
But I'm still trying to get used to it. It's sending my head for a loop a little bit.
I don't think that. I know my reflexes and like my hand-eye coordination. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I could never be someone that would be good at fighting games because I don't have the twitch reflexes required. So I just know if I tried to run a controller scheme like bumper jumper, like it would not serve me very well because I don't have the reflexes to like use that to a high degree of competitiveness, you know?
Right.
So
I
for
tried
me,
it.
I'm just like, I'm just going to use default, like, because I can do things with that, you know?
Yeah, man. And, I'm really comfortable with the default controls. Who knows? I may end up switching back to it. I tried bumper jumper on Halo and went back. But, Destiny's a different story. We played Destiny quite a bit and PvP a lot. So I'm going to really give it a shot to see what I think about bumper jumper.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how it plays out long term for you and if you feel like you get any advantage, because I hear people talk about this a lot.
Melee for R3 though, dude. Like I've always, and I switched that stuff in Call of Duty. I don't know when I started it many years back, but I always have really enjoyed crouch being my right analog R3 button because while I'm scoped in and when I go, I just feel like I can do it a lot quicker and respond a lot faster if I'm getting shot at. Whereas it's back to my O button. So, and I did a little tweak. Terry and I were talking because on PlayStation you can set the buttons to be whatever you want them to be, but I don't think you can do that on Xbox. So I don't really. Can you do it?
They actually came out with button mapping in the most recent Xbox update.
Okay.
So you can reconfigure where things are like what's mapped to what now through Xbox.
To do it, dude. I may have to do it on both ends. The only thing that's weird is it changes the entire game. So like when I'm setting in the menu to go back, like out of a menu to cancel out, I have to push the R3 button instead of O. So, it's like I just gotta pick which, how much I want to mess with.
Make me crazy.
Yeah. So, it's just one of those things. But anyways, that was a random tangent. I figured just wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted how I'm feeling about bumper jumper.
Yeah. Let me know if you really come out and feel like you're winning. I might give it a shot for a night or something. See how it goes.
For sure. I didn't even realize, but Terry and Tattoo both run Bumper Jumper. This whole time we've been playing, I didn't. Maybe Terry, but definitely not
Well,
Tattoo.
some people come into Destiny knowing like, okay, where can we do Bumper Jumper? Let me do that. And I have a couple of friends that do it. They're just they're on like a different level than me, at least as far as like the reflexes and hand-eye coordination. Like they're just more.
I don't know, man. I've
suited.
seen your clips.
Yeah, but that's
give yourself some credit.
That's me trying really hard, man.
Yeah, but I'll definitely keep you posted.
Yeah, so I ran some raids this week as usual. We had Orcs challenge mode. I think we might have had on Tuesday night at the reset probably our smoothest raid run yet. I think in the entire run we might have had 2 wipes.
Oh wow, man.
And those were like really more like false starts. Like something started, like maybe we started it too early, somebody wasn't ready or this or that. Like we got through it pretty efficiently. We all got to the end. We're like, man, can we just do this every night? But what happens is we get to our second run and everybody kind of cuts loose and gets sloppy. And we, in the end, we're all like yelling at each other. We're like, come on, man, like get together. Like, I want to go sleep, you know?
I'll be excited to be able to jump in that raid group and get carried through the whole thing.
We could definitely do it if you did it on a Tuesday night. Now, on a Wednesday night, I can't make any promises, but
that's your crew, man.
We got in and we did challenge mode Orcs first try without a wipe.
That's crazy.
No problems,
dude.
Man. We awesome. Did have a problem, but we sorted it out. There was one ogre towards the middle, I think maybe the 3rd round, that got a little further away than it should have, away from it, like its spawn point. And so what I had to do, because it was my reclaim light to detonate, I had to like go run to that one and sit on it for just a second and then run to the stack of 3 and wait for those to detonate, and then run back to the other one and stand on it and make sure it detonated. But it was the end, so like, but I was running Sunsinger Warlock, so I had Fireborn, so I just died. You know, I just stood in there and made sure, and I died.
Right, yeah, just
when
to make sure.
Over, you know, but we made it work.
Yeah, dude, I've got some exciting news.
What you got?
I ran Oryx challenge mode on hard, dude.
Wow.
I was just kind of I was kind of just lurking around in the GroupMe chat, and I saw Slarty and the guys trying to form something up, and I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump in here. Cyborg will be proud. So those guys, man, I tell you what, I'm just gonna go ahead and give a shout out to Slarty, Davis, Dare to Fail, Kinslayer, and iTattoo for giving me the easiest role in the encounter, and letting me stand by Davis and drop a bubble when he told me he didn't have his.
There you go.
And helping take out the ogres, dude. But
yeah,
man, I minimized my deaths. I think I only died once, maybe twice.
Yeah,
so I
bad.
wasn't the cause of too many wipes. I was sitting at 307 light, man. So they protected me pretty well, but it was awesome, dude. It was so fun. It reminded me how much I love the raids and stuff, and why you're always so excited about them. But I got some good stuff, dude. I got I say good stuff. I got the 320 hand cannon, which I know the hand cannon isn't anything to be too excited over, but it's nice to have something that's 320.
Yeah.
And then I got of course duplicates on all these for both difficulties, but I got a 316 smite with Firefly on it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and
just
then
be careful when you use it in the raid.
Really?
Yeah, I've had it freeze up in encounter for me before with the Firefly perk.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I 310 last word. So
nice.
I ended up infusing some things and decrypting some exotic engrams that I got, and my character can now hit 309 for trials, and I think up to 311 if I put on all my raid gear and stuff.
There you go, man. Moving up in the world.
Yeah, dude.
Hanging with the big boys now.
You know what? We got to talking about this, and Slarty and I did a bit, and Tattoo while we were running challenge mode. And if I didn't already say it, I'm pretty sure I did. But thank you guys so much for letting me jump in and run through that and getting me the ship and everything. But trials, man, like we can actually jump right into trials from this. We run trials every weekend, dude, and I've probably been to the Lighthouse, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times in the last month or two. And my character, until I ran that raid with him, could not hit higher than 307 light.
Wow.
And I've been to the Lighthouse 7 times.
Yeah.
Like, something just seems like reward-wise, we are missing out on the trial side of things a little bit. Like, we get that guaranteed. No, we don't get a guaranteed 320. We get a high level weapon from the chest.
Right.
And by high level, I mean most of the time it's 310 to 315. Every now and then I'll have something above 315 drop out of there. But the problem is the gear, dude. Like there's hardly any gear that drops higher than 310 out of trials.
Yeah.
It's just kind of rough. Like it just kind of made us realize it. We're just sitting there doing challenge mode with them, talking about it a little bit, and it's like, man, we really 307, and we played, the other side of the in-game content this much,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not as even.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they had to have some kind of balance, I imagine. So, we couldn't get anything above, up to 320 guaranteed until these challenges, but there was the opportunity to roll that stuff. And I think there's the opportunity to roll that stuff in trials. But you're not getting as many loot rolls in trials,
right.
I wouldn't say, as you do with the raid. Maybe not guaranteed, but I definitely see where you're coming from. I mean, it's something that a lot of trials players have brought up, as far
right.
as just inconsistency. I mean, there's guys, just like you. I mean, you go to Lighthouse almost every weekend, and you're still sitting with, gear below 310 or at 310. Like you're not seeing a real progression. And with that being said, overall, this piece of content that we got, the Taken King, was supposed to promise a much more smooth and stable progression regardless of what you're playing, right?
Right.
Maybe not regardless, but if you're trying to get to 320 or 310 to 320, if you're playing in-game content, I mean, there should be rewards that match that level of activity, and I don't see why trials wouldn't be giving 310 to 320 gear,
right?
Guaranteed.
And it's the gear, man. Like the whatever, if there's a chess piece that week, that thing will drop for all 3 of us at game 5, and it'll be 305, 303.
Yeah, I've never seen anything above 306.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 310
from trials.
Yeah.
For those armor pieces, I mean, why wouldn't it be commensurate with where your level is and what you're doing in the game? I mean, why shouldn't there be some kind of progression,
Which we have a really good question later in the show from Tattoo about this. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Definitely. This is something random we were talking about with trials, and I don't know, man. I'm not complaining. I need to jump in the raid more anyways. That'll give me a reason to do it. But is it right, too? I've heard the last couple weeks, I don't know if I saw it on Reddit, and maybe we even talked about this on the show a little bit, but your actual light on the gun you're using, like say my primary is 318. I mean, that when I'm playing in trials in light level stuff enabled, it's not just my overall light, right? It's my actual light of my gun is going to make a difference. Is that right?
So as I've seen it explained, the attack rating on your weapon will definitely affect what kind of damage you can output. Okay. And then your armor rating which is like basically an average of everything, will affect how much damage you will take.
Okay.
So it's almost a little lopsided in that your total light and the armor that's on your guy is affected by everything, but then your weapons can somewhat have their own independent damage output, apart from your armor. So it's almost like armor's not going to affect weapon output,
Right, yeah. And I didn't even realize that until a few weeks ago. I came across that little bit of information.
So if you threw on like a 170 attack rating gun, but you're like 305 light, like that 170 attack gun is still going to underperform regardless of you being like, plus 300 light, because the attack rating's so low.
Right. It'll make a difference if you're minus 299 versus 318.
I would think so. It may not be enough on something like a scout for the math to work out to a noticeable difference, but if you took something like an auto rifle, or maybe like a low impact pulse, that may make a significant difference.
Right.
In time to kill.
Yeah, that's just an interesting topic that maybe a lot of Guardians out there may not know that. Like I said, I didn't even realize it for several weeks. Yeah. You just automatically think with Iron Banner and everything that it's your overall light is all that matters.
Right. And this goes back to something I've said before in the past, where if you don't have an in-game device to teach these mechanics, how do you expect the player to know?
Right. Definitely.
And if you can't teach that mechanic in the game by whatever limitation, it sounds too complicated to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that Destiny is a game with a lot of intricate systems, but
well, I always tell my friends about it, and friends that don't have it, I tell them it's an awesome game and that they should get it, and then I immediately follow that up with like, oh man, even if you spark like I did, you still have so much that you need to get to be ready to do certain things in the game, and it's just kind of one of those entry points, and it's just like, oh man, I don't know, you don't want people not to be able to jump into the game at any point.
Right.
I don't know. But anyways, dude, how about let's talk about the map, Memento. Did you run any trials?
I didn't get to run any trials, so you're gonna have to tell us about it this week. And I'm interested to see what your strategies were on this map. Man,
we ran probably 5 passages on Friday night, and we made it to the lighthouse on our 5th passage when we were completely worn out and didn't even know if we were going to run another passage. It's a rough map, man. Like I don't know. Like I was trying to think of a strategy for us to use. Immediately you figure out that everyone, for the most part, runs straight into that building, up the ramp, depending on which side you're on. It's the heavy inside spawn.
Right.
And that area, is, and of course the sight line's right there. Everyone just naturally goes to that area.
Yeah.
And then what we figured out with the map is I love the European Dead Zone type look and that, like Widow's Court. But that map, and I didn't realize it till this weekend, there are sight lines and there's head glitches and plenty of places to snipe. Yeah. But it's so cluttered with stuff, dude. There's stuff everywhere that you have to jump over, you can get stuck on. And I mean, we had, we were streaming it, and I was kind of talking to Terry afterwards, like people, that aren't used to watching a stream, we got to 7 wins 3 times, and then we used our mercy and got a loss, and we just forfeit the card and go get another card. And we're just used to doing it that way, So we're trying to get 9-0. Yeah. And we've kind of spoiled ourselves with that a little bit. And, there's weekends we're not going to do that. We really thought this was going to be one of the weekends. And we There's just good teams, man, and good snipers, and you get further into that card and it just gets so sweaty. And we did our last run at like 1:30 in the morning, and I was on my Hunter, my least played character, just trying to, still get some of the bounties. And we did it, man, without the mercy. So I don't know if we just kind of fine-tuned our strategy and learned when, if we were getting beat on that sight line and that inside heavy, we would go outside and kind of use the hallways to our advantage. But that map, dude, I think this is the first weekend I'm coming out of trials, and I don't know how I feel about that map. Usually I end up liking them, but that one is rough, man.
I've played that map plenty, because it's definitely weighted in a lot of the game types to come up, being that it's a newer map. And I don't often enjoy the map because I can't get my thumb on it. I can't get to a place where I feel like, okay, I'm really comfortable on this map. I know how people play for this type and that. Like, I know this area really well. I mean, I'm always scrambling, trying to figure out how to work it the best. I think the only time I've really had fun on that map was Rumble.
Right.
Because you basically spin Rumble like running around the spawn points like a nut job and just clearing people out the best you can. But
well, that's what's weird about that map is you immediately think, I remember the first tweet that I saw, I think, was get ready for the snipers, or on Reddit or somewhere. But what's crazy about that map is if you're a shotgunner, and we saw plenty of shotgun teams, you can work that map to be nothing but a shotgun map.
Yeah, because while there's a lot of long lines of sight, you can also maneuver around those lines for a good amount of time and kind of push people into a small corridor, because there's plenty of those too.
Yeah, definitely the two together, one flank, we saw over and over again.
Yeah.
So we just tried to capitalize on that person that was by themselves, and then just
pop
take
them
control
off.
of that order.
Yeah.
So it was fun though, man. Trials is always fun. You guys know that's my jam.
Yeah, man. So did you get anything good from your 9-0?
I think I got I want to say I got a 313 water star again, maybe. I cannot remember, dude. But again, like, I just hardly ever get anything over 315. I know I've gotten a 318 Doctrine of Passing with Counterbalance several weeks back, so I can't complain too much. That's a pretty high reward.
Yeah.
We also actually I played when Dixie and Terry and iTattoo got done with their run last night. I jumped in real quick because I needed 3 more games on my Hunter to get the gold bounty reward package, and played 2 games, man. I was still trying to get it, because if you play after 9 wins, if you have 9 wins on your card and you keep playing, you got a chance at that Scarab emblem. And Terry and I are the only ones that didn't have it, and I got mine to drop last night, dude. So I was pretty pumped about that. Yeah, so it's really cool to have
yet. I need to get
really cool to have that emblem. Yeah. So we'll have to shoot for it on Xbox now, dude.
Yeah, I'll have to try. I never end up playing after I get a 9-0 or get to 9 wins. I'm usually either done, like worn out, or don't get there. But I'll get it eventually.
Man, it's you get up to that rank and then you keep playing and you keep getting paired against teams like that, it starts to wear you out.
But it gets sweaty, huh?
Man, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I guess that's why it's fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
But good stuff, dude. I wanted to mention too, I did my weekly PvP bounties this week, and I got 19 strange coins on PlayStation when I already have a couple hundred, so I could have used those on Xbox.
Man, yeah, I didn't finish mine this week. I'm slacking. I wanted to, I planned to, but I didn't.
The 3 of 5 thing again. Otherwise, really? I probably wouldn't have finished mine.
See, I was expecting mine to do that, but it didn't give me any of that freebies this week, so I had to do 5, and I think I might have gotten 3 of them done, but I didn't finish the last 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I've had quite the reset. This is
no kidding, man. You had you just knocked it out of the park this week, man.
It was great, man. I really, after Iron Banner, I'm so pumped and was trying so hard to get my Xbox Titan to where we could finally play together regularly, dude. So
we're there now.
It's good stuff, dude. We'll be able to actually talk about running activities together. Dirt fan.
It's fun that way.
Yep, good stuff.
Well, you got do we have any news this week, man?
I don't think so. The only news that we have, because we know that we're not getting a weekly update until January 21st.
Right.
And I think the only little tidbit of information we got, because maybe they felt some brewing of the community thinking we were going to get an announcement then, Bungie tweeted out and said, when the weekly update returns on January 21st, it's going to be a preview of the next patch.
Yeah, they said the Bungie weekly update will return on January 21st. Not a major reveal, but a preview of our February update. More to come. So
that's several weeks, man. Like, people are just itching for some new content, and then, you know, we're on that update. I'm always excited to hear about a patch. I feel like we get a new game when a decent sized patch drops, but dude, it is soon. We need to hear about some content.
Yeah, people are feeling it's getting pretty dry. You know, my guess is if they're not talking about anything, you know, we're seeing really small amount of communication. Of course, you know, everybody went on vacation, did their thing, but my guess is they're prepping something, you know, to drop, and hopefully it gives us some gameplay options or something new, you know, to do.
You know, you always hear people say that there's not enough to do in Destiny right now. Well, there's plenty to do. It's just not, I guess, what you're wanting to do.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Like, or it's a question of like, there's nothing new to do, and you don't want to do the things that are there, which is understandable too. I mean,
definitely.
But I mean, I still have fun doing the things that are there, and I mean, if I completely burnt out on all the brand new stuff, I mean, I'd probably go back and play some of the old stuff again. I mean, if I was really out of stuff to do.
if they didn't put trials in this game, I would definitely feel the content droughts a bit more. But trials just keeps the content drought like non-existent for me, and I don't know. It just keeps me trying new weapons, and just every weekend just trying to get a decent score. So
I guess the question is you know, what portion of Destiny's community is playing trials, and you know, how many of those people does it engage and enjoy it? Because it's not going to be for everybody. So
no, definitely not. Yeah, that's,
you know,
that's definitely correct.
I can definitely see why if there's a large amount of people that aren't playing trials, why they might get a little bored. You know, they
for
don't
sure.
have anything to look forward
you've
to
already
on the weekend.
Ran the raid 40 times. You're not a PvP player. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it. I mean, no question. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Hopefully we hear about something soon. Even the live event, hopefully we're going to get in February.
Hopefully so. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be. I can't even speculate. I have just no clue.
You know, Bungie, or not Bungie, but Destiny is such a cool game for me, because sometimes I log off at night and I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to play for the next couple of days. I'm just going to take a break. You know, maybe I popped in Tomb Raider the other day for a minute. Man, I come back the next night, even if it's a Wednesday, and I'm like, I want to jump back in and just do something. I just want to play. It's just such a cool game, man. There's so many different weapons and the gear, you know, like even in this content drought, and even when Trials isn't up, I logged in last night and this is just the OCD coming out in me, for 40 minutes probably, and finally went through my vault and all my postmaster, and I mean, I made myself delete stuff. Paulie was giving me trouble on the stream because my postmaster was full and I had no room in my vault, and I finally did it, man. Like, I went through it. I still don't have a lot of space, but I made myself delete old Trials gear, and maybe I'm just totally nerding out for that being fun, but I don't know. It's nice to log in and know you're organized.
Well, I have to do that at least once a week and go through, okay, let me take all the loot I pulled in this week. Let me level this gun up. Let me level this gun up. Let me put this on my Titan and use it for infusion fuel and this and that, and kind of do.
The infusing gives you a headache, man, because you'll get a weapon and you're like, oh, I'll use this to infuse it into something. And then you're like, what am I going to put it in?
Then you get stuck. You're like, oh, but I want this, but wait, should I put it in this thing? Delete it. You know, it gets tough. And then you're sitting there with all this infusion fuel, and you're like, man, this could all be just legendary marks. Do I want to do this, you know? Because it costs you.
I've gotten to the point. I just, for the first time yesterday, spent 150 marks on a legendary special engram from the Cryptarch. I'm going to start popping those here and there to see if I can get a better roll on 1,000 yard.
I've never bought those.
Yep. They're weird too, man. They are very expensive, but it's like I had nothing to spend it on, and it would be so cool. I did get a sniper, but it wasn't 1,000 yard. But they're weird. Like I pressed it to buy it, thinking it would just drop a purple engram in my inventory, and it just decrypts it right there. I was like, whoa! Just kind of threw me off for a second.
I'll tell you one thing I forgot to mention is I had this glass promontory, which is the trial sniper, sitting. Mm-hmm. I'd had it for a few weeks and I hadn't tried it yet. And it dropped at like 304. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this thing has hidden hand. Okay, all right, cool. And I think, what was the other? I think it was like performance bonus was the other perk. But I also had short gaze on it. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, this might be good. And I've been kind of enjoying my Defiance, being kind of a lower or mid-impact sniper. I was like, maybe I'll like this glass promontory because it's a low impact. And just want to say, if you can get into low-impact snipers, this thing is a beast.
It's a cool gun,
especially with the role that I have. Short gaze and hidden hand, man. You saw one of the shots I pulled off. I got so lucky.
Tell us about that shot, dude.
What were we playing? I think I was playing Mayhem Clash. And we're on Pantheon, and I am on the right side lane. What is that spawn? Is it Alpha spawn or Bravo spawn?
I want to say, I'm not sure, dude.
I think it's Bravo spawn. So if you spawn Bravo and you're on the right side sniper lane, well, they're pushing us. They're trying to push into our spawn, and I'm lining up with this sniper, and got ahead. Saw another guy, and I pulled the trigger and took out two with one round, man.
It was
precision
nice,
shots. Dude. It was beautiful. It'll go into your YouTube montage. Don't worry.
Derptage number 2.
But I was getting shots like that, like crazy on that map. I have a couple other clips from that, just ridiculous shots that I was pulling with this sniper rifle that I normally wouldn't be able to get. So it's definitely a good gun.
Yeah, that was funny, man. You sent me a message. I got on Xbox, and it just said, watch the end of this clip. And I'm like, oh, it was only like a 30-second clip. And I'm like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then I saw it line up, dude. And I'm like, oh, he's going to do it.
So lucky, man.
Such a nice shot, dude. It was nice.
It was pretty cool. So
I was proud of you, man.
If you haven't given that gun a shot, definitely give it a shot. I mean, a lot of guys will not get away from their high-impact snipers, but there's definitely something to be said for these low-impact snipers. A headshot's a headshot. It's going to kill somebody.
Definitely.
But with these low-impact, it also gives you the ability just to pop shots that people just body shots and pop, finish them off,
Yep. I've used that one a little bit, not enough to talk about it, but I definitely...
I liked it. I'm going to keep using it.
It's good stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I guess it'll be a couple weeks, but we'll have some news to talk about.
It's not too much longer, man. We're recording on the 11th. I mean,
a couple episodes.
Not this show, but next. We'll have something to talk. Not next show, but the following one. So you're only 2 episodes away, guys, from some semblance of information from Bungie.
Yeah, some sort of patch news, and hopefully, man, it's going to be so exciting to start talking new content again.
No doubt.
Be good stuff. So, how about our main topic this week, man? What are the listeners in for?
Yeah, so this week it's Up for Anything 4.0. If you haven't listened to any of the previous episodes, what that means is this is the 4th installment of Up for Anything, in which we discuss whatever the hell we want to talk about. So this comes up when we don't have anything, serious going down in Destiny to talk about, and we like to pull topics out of our old journals or back of our mind, or this one thing we talked about and we never fit into the show, or in this case this week we got some great emails that prompt some interesting things that we wanted to fit in that maybe wouldn't fit into another episode. So we're gonna jump right in here. Why don't you tell us about this first email that we got?
I can do it. It's from my Trials buddy, iTattoo. I've mentioned a couple times. He's got a great topic here. We're just going to read you his email and we'll go from there. He says, "Hey guys, Tattoo here. Just wanted to discuss some wish list items you guys have for Destiny in 2016. Of course, there are the obvious wish list items that people have been wanting since day one, like custom games, dedicated servers, and 60 frames per second. But what I would like to talk about are special wish list items, things that not everyone may be talking about. My biggest wish list item is an adjustment to exotics. I think that exotics overall have felt less exotic in The Taken King. I think that all exotics should drop at 320. In all of year one exotics, the exotic pieces have always been at the max level. I think that made a lot of sense because of the rare nature of the gear. I think that the solution to the 320 saturation from this is to make exotics off limits for infusion, similar to rares. This would make me feel excited when I get an exotic engram instead of underwhelmed by decrypting a 310 Alpha Lupi for the 4,000th time when my current light level is 318. I think we've been there, dude, for sure.
No kidding.
His second item on his wish list is for all gear to drop at higher light. I think they have a great system with rare gear where your current level dictates the level of the gear you got throughout the game. That should remain true past 300 in my opinion with legendaries. That would make literally all activities in the in-game relevant. Sorry for being so long-winded. Please feel free to paraphrase if you guys do, which we are not doing. We like to say all of your thoughts about these ideas on the show. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you both for starting this awesome community and have a wonderful day. Well, thanks, Tattoo. This email, man, when we read this, we immediately were like, this is a great topic. Worked out because we were doing Up for Anything this week. And I definitely want to talk about that second item. But what do you think about the first one, Cyborg, about exotics? Do you think they're as special since The Taken King?
I think that, and this thought is prompted by something I've heard several of the developers say about exotics post The Taken King. Luke Smith, several others have very in detail explained that with exotics, they want to, their concept and their philosophy with exotics now is that they want you to have the ability to do something unique with an exotic, but they also want it to be a trade-off. So by having this unique ability, you're also giving something up, whether it's losing, the armor ability that you would get from another thing in that place, or if it's a gun, it may be adjusting the stats on that gun to where it's not as great, but it gives you another ability, for instance, Telesto. It's going to take 5 Telesto bolts and explosion to kill an enemy. But you can have this really cool, unique ability with Telesto to kind of lay timed landmines. It's really cool. But it doesn't work like a normal fusion does. So,
they're not necessarily supposed to be killing machines. They're just supposed to be unique.
They're not supposed to be the absolute best god tier weapons in every sense. At least that's not what they want now. And I can't disagree with that because if you look at the phenomena that occurred in year one, especially earlier in year one, you had these god tier weapons like Galahorn and the Last Word, where if you obtained it, suddenly you had this very, very distinct advantage over other players in every activity.
To any LFG.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody wanted you to have Galahorn for Crota Zen, and for PvP, I mean, the Last Word and Thorn reigned supreme, but those weren't necessarily easy guns to get. Exotics were a lot harder to obtain then than they are now. But I think what they've tried to do is bring exotics down to a more sustainable level, because they're going to continue to make new exotics, and you can't have 100 exotics that are better than everything in the game, because they have to compete with one another, and for two, you don't want to have exotics be the only things that are used, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the legendaries have to have some value in the game.
Right. And I guess, that's why they'll probably never change that we can only have one equipped at a time. Cause I remember thinking that was weird when I first started playing the game. But I do agree with him on part of the special feeling when you got an exotic or an exotic engram was that it was at max level when you got it, you know, like I see his solution is that we can't use it as infusion material, which would make sense. But I do miss that, like I did find myself this weekend now that I could hit 311. I would drop in all my gear that didn't match to hit 311 and then would get that guaranteed 310.
Right.
But how can you can't get a 320 exotic, right? Or without infusing it, or is it possible?
The only place that will drop that I'm aware of is from the Lighthouse.
Okay.
You can get a plus 310 exotic to drop from Lighthouse treasure
310
chest.
or 320?
Plus 310. So between 310 and 320 you can have.
Oh, I got you. Somewhere in there.
Like the very first week that the trials started post the Taken King, I remember Triple Wreck got a 320 Heart of Praxic Fire. I'm pretty sure is what it was. It was a Warlock exotic chest piece, and everybody was like, "Holy crap!" Like, wow, But
it was the last one.
Yeah, it was probably the only one. He's got that RNGesus on him, but
that probably made him feel a little more special pre-Taken King. I'd have to agree with him on that. But we've gotten into this whole infusion system that we all like, and I don't know. It's just another thing that's hard to balance and to find a happy medium and a happy place with it.
Yeah, I do think that exotic weapons and armor that we have right now will be able to carry through the rest of this year. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to infuse them unless you want to run into another situation like year one.
Oh man,
where you have to like turn it in and do this to get the higher one back, and then reinvest in all the XP. It was like ridiculous what you had to do. So
if any listener doesn't know what Cyborg's talking about, we're longtime Destiny players, and we're glad you didn't have to experience it.
Yeah, you basically had to buy an exotic shard, right? And then you had
7,500 glimmer, right?
Yeah, it was 7,500 glimmer, and then you had to take that. What did you do? And then you turned it into Xur.
To get the same weapon.
And he would give you the same weapon back. That
you had to re-level it.
Re-level, which back then was an enormous amount of XP to level an exotic weapon. And then I think to finalize it, for the final node, you had to have another exotic shard.
Right.
To then put into it.
I luckily didn't grind that out.
And then the exotics available to upgrade were not consistent. So it was similar to how Xur has rolling inventory. So you had a select number of exotics available for upgrade every week when he came.
Right.
It was the worst, man.
That was rough.
It was just the definition of grind, man. So we don't want that again, Tattoo.
Right.
So I think that they were smart that they made them infusible because we can bring them along with us, right? But going to
I do agree with him on his second, point.
So for the second point, I fully expected post 310 light on my character that I would be able to get higher exotics to decrypt, but that's not the case.
No, it was such a great experience leveling up to 300 because they said it themselves. They wanted you to feel like when you logged in for 30 minutes or an hour or 4 hours, you made progress every night.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that wouldn't be the case with on 2 legendaries to get, I'm getting 280s when I'm 309, let me keep leveling up. Now, I was going to ask you your opinion. I was thinking about this week after we got his email. Do you think that hitting max level, because if we did this way, we would hit 320 a lot quicker than anybody is now. If this went all the way up to 320, do you think this should still stop at a certain point, like 310, 315? And do you think 320 should only be obtainable at in-game content? I mean, this is a classic discussion. Or do you think we should be able to hit 320? Like he said, this would literally make all activities in the in-game, period, anything you wanted to do, relevant, because you could get gear that would help you out. I mean, what do you think?
I think that should only be obtainable in-game because it makes it more valuable.
Right. So you think there still should be a cutoff point?
There needs to be value to those more challenging activities to incentivize the player, not even to incentivize, but to reward. You know, it's not like they're trying to say, oh, here's this thing, you can only get it here. Like, they want you to play the content, but they also want you to feel very rewarded for accomplishing the content. And if there's no, you know, we can't live in a world in Destiny where all things are equal, right? Otherwise, there'll be no incentive and no reward to do harder things. So, besides just bragging rights, which, to be honest, you don't get a lot of opportunities to brag in this game besides showing off your gear.
Right.
So I don't think you can remove that impetus to the player without losing a lot. You know,
I love the idea of it continuing past 300, but you know, when we sit here and talk about it, they basically get you up to the point you need to be to go run normal raid Kingsfall, don't they? And then you go from there.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, there's other avenues where you can get up to like 310 plus, like if you do Iron Banner regularly and stuff, but you're not going to have as many opportunities to progress.
Right.
You know, with those things.
Realistically, though, man, the only decently efficient way to hit 320, and I don't know that I'm going to do it before the next content drop, if whatever that is that the light level increases. But, you know, the only way to do it in a decent amount of time is to run the hard raid.
Yeah, you got it. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've been
because
running
you want to
it
say Iron Banner
with 2 warlocks every single week. And I'm 319 and like 9/12.
Right.
I got a 320
awesome.
helmet, by the way, this week.
Oh, cool, dude. You got to tell us when you hit 320.
Well, if all I need is a 320 Ghost, man, and I'm there. I have a 317 right now. That's the only thing holding me back.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, you know, like Iron Banner is even more of a luck thing. You do not get a lot of high gear from Iron Banner.
Yeah.
This time around, I got a 318 and a 319 on the different consoles. That's the highest I've seen, but you still don't get a ton of it. And we just talked about trials. You know, you don't really in there either. So even though there are several in-game activities where they increase the light, the raid is pretty much it again, man. I mean, if you want to hit max level.
But I hear you, Tattoo. I do also get frustrated decrypting exotic engrams at 310.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, now all of my exotics, for the most part, except for a couple, are at 310. And so now I'm just getting dupes of stuff that I don't need anymore. And there's no progression with those items. You know, I'm just getting the same thing over and over at 310. And the item that I already have is either above 310 or I don't really care if it's above 310. So I'm just getting, you know, stuff that I'm just discarding. And I wish that I wish that 311 plus or 315 plus or something like that would enable you to get, you know, even if it was a random number between 310 and 320 on an exotic item, that would be better.
Mm-hmm. You know, I guess it's too, we don't play this game for a living or full time or anything, but it's, you know, a lot of times the only game we play. So, you know, a lot of people probably aren't experiencing this problem. You know, I thought about it this week. I was setting on 2 exotic engrams, just setting on my characters. I didn't know which character to decrypt them on. And then I realized that I had a couple pieces of Trials gear that wasn't at 310. So I ended up putting it into that. But, you know, there's not a lot of players probably out there that are just setting on those. They take them straight back, decrypt them, and you know what I mean? Like, we've got the we love Destiny and don't play a lot of other stuff problem.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but there's plenty of people that will be in the same shoes as we are, or at least
eventually,
to a degree,
right?
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's something to be said for that. But The last thing I think the last point that Tattoo was making was that, essentially post 300, the progression really grinds to a halt almost. I mean, it's very, 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 very slow. And I do agree that I wish that there was still some kind of continued progression, that more activities would give you better stuff. I mean, I'm tired of getting like 290 ghosts from the Nightfall, and stuff like that. I don't, like we're talking about with Trials of Osiris. I mean, I'm sitting there playing Trials at 315 and I'm getting 300 or 303 gear dropping at the reward screen. I'm like, I don't need this. This is junk. Why?
Yeah, there's definitely tweaks.
Why?
Yeah, and we've talked about the Nightfall for a while. The Nightfall, we definitely should. We hoped that last little tweak they made on it helped, but we're still not running them a whole lot, and I don't know, man. Yep, there's definitely some tweaks. I don't know if we'll see them before the next content drops or not, but there's so much to manage in this game.
Yeah,
it's just crazy to think about.
It's a new system. I mean,
I feel like this year, even maybe more than last year, is even more of a growing pain for them, because we're seeing that the content's different. They're not. It almost, obviously they have a plan, but last year we had 2 substantial DLCs. I feel like this is another learning year for them. I feel like Destiny 2 there's going to be some groundwork laid and some plans maybe in place, more set in stone, than learning. Obviously they're going to continue to learn from the community, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This year seems like another growing pain.
Better plan, a little bit less half-baked and rushed out the door, right?
It's just, it's like, this is a long, not to get back on that topic, but it's a long time between content right now, and it allows us to sit and think about things like these.
Yeah, the little details.
Right. Yep. So, it's good stuff though. Thanks for the question, Tattoo. That was, the topic.
That was a great topic. It's a good prompt.
Yep.
So we got another email, from a friend, and I'm going to go ahead and read this off. I wanted to talk about this for a minute. He said, "Hello, Destiny Reset. I submit this for your consideration. I am a guardian living in Honduras as a human titan." I love the way he worded that. He's like, I am a human titan, but I live in Honduras, guys. Really identifies with this character. He goes on and he says, "I've been playing since the beta on Xbox One. My gamer tag is the Z Giorno, and the clan I belong to is Main Reactor." Props to Main Reactor, guys, if you're out there. And then he sent us this really, really cool, I guess you could call it like a chart, and it shows the weapon manufacturers, okay? And he's showing us in this chart who is making what type of weapon. So, for instance, we see Suros, produces auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, but not hand cannons. So he kind of laid this out visually for us. It's really cool. But he goes on to say, "This topic is something that I've been considering and waiting for someone to bring up in a podcast or discussion. Ever since the announcement of the Taken King and the appearance of the weapon manufacturers, my imagination went wild, picturing all the different types of weapons: a Suros auto rifle, Omelon scout rifle, and Hake snipers. Now, months after the release, I'm left wondering if I'll let my imagination run too wild. There are weapon types that certain manufacturers don't make, and I'm hoping that Bungie is time-gating these weapons to be released later on. As you can see, there's potential for many more weapons to be introduced into our sandbox. Imagine an Omelon sidearm." Oh man, he just makes me melt when he says that. "Hake scout rifle or a Suros sniper." That sounds pretty cool. "Do you think that next event Bungie has spoken about could be a faction war or manufacturer competition, which could introduce new weapons and some sort of functionality to the factions and are pledging to them?" Wow,
faction wars would be cool, dude.
A very interesting idea. So let's unpack this for a second, everything he's talking about here. First thing he's bringing up is just the general hype that Bungie kind of built around the weapon foundries when that was announced, because that was one of the very early things that we heard about in the Taken King, right? So they're start putting up, I think they put up some videos, some teasers and stuff, some pictures. We start to see like the different type of guns that we're going to get to have our hands on. And I really, we talked about it on the show, like we really got into this concept. And he's right in pointing out, I'm sure many people have noticed there's certain weapon types that manufacturers don't make. For instance, you haven't seen an Omalon auto rifle. That would be really cool. I mean, something similar to like Hard Light,
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen an Omalon shotgun. You haven't seen a Hake heavy machine gun. So, I think it would be pretty interesting to eventually see some more of these different weapon types made by the foundries. And he's definitely hitting on a pretty interesting idea that we could see these coming up in some future content. What are you thinking about this, Arrow?
Yeah, man, this is a really cool idea. Just something even more in depth. Like you said, I think it would be really neat. Anything with the faction wars, I kind of said that right off the bat, but faction war stuff always interests me. But just these different weapons, different options, even more than what we've seen is always a good thing, dude. I think there's a lot of things in Destiny that they can just continue over the years to elaborate on and pique our interests.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, dude.
One thing that they that this kind of jogs my memory on is I could swear that before the Taken King dropped and the point at which they were starting to tease all the foundry stuff, that they had shown off some like Suros armor or something. Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, oh man, there's going to be Suros armor. There's going to be Hake armor. Like people were going nuts about this idea. And then we didn't see any of it.
Right.
And it makes me wonder, like, was something that we saw misconstrued, or was it something that they cut or they saved for later? But this last thing you mentioned, you think that the next event they've talked about could be faction war or foundry competition. That would be a kind of cool tower event.
Yeah,
if we had some type of faction competition, and that somehow tied into the foundries, and maybe we saw an influx of new weapons. I don't know. I mean, that's a outstanding idea. I wonder if they've got something like that in the works, or if we're just grasping for straws here.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if it would be a live event or DLC, but man, it would be such a different angle.
That would be a good live event.
Yeah, it would be cool, man. Just
really
like instead of racing or the fun side of it, it would be cool to actually have almost like a little war that's going on or something.
Yeah, some kind of competition, some kind of struggle. People can pick sides and put up points for different ones. So yeah, cool idea, man. Thank you. I can't pronounce your gamer tag precisely, but the ZG Orno. Thanks for sending us that email. Very cool, man. Thanks for listening out there in Honduras, and keep listening.
Yeah, send us anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just real quick mention, and I kind of want this to simmer on the Derp Fan for a little bit, and you guys tweet us what you think at Destiny Reset about transmogrification in the Destiny universe. It's something we've talked about a little bit. We've heard throughout the community a lot. Basically being able to take any piece of gear and making it look like a piece of gear that you actually like the way it looks, instead of being stuck for stat reasons or things of that nature.
Right.
But I don't know, real quick, Cyborg, I mean, what do you think about it?
I would love to be able to take my old Vault of Glass gear, or I don't know, all kinds of stuff, and pull it forward. I mean, I really like a lot of my old Iron Banner armor for my Warlock.
Right.
It'd be so cool if I could take those, drop them on a piece of 320 armor I got that didn't necessarily like the way it looked, and be able to rock that, just for the look.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
man, that old Vault of Glass stuff.
I don't care about the perks or anything else on it, man. Just let me drop the way it looks,
Yeah, that's I feel like part of like gear and owning your character and the way it looks is, you take on what that gear is. And by putting transmogrification in the game, you kind of just like mix and match everything. And Diablo 3 did that, and I played that quite a bit, and I really liked it when they implemented that in the game. Part of me feels like it's cool to get a piece of gear, and this is that piece of gear, and you can't make it look like anything else. But at the same time, the trade-off of being able to customize your character to that level and mix and match things and just make your guy look exactly the way you want him to look from the gear that you've gotten over playing the game. I don't know. I think it almost has to come into the game at some point.
Yeah. I mean, they're a step closer to it with what we have right now. It's just that there's a year of stuff that's left behind, Right. I mean, we can take anything that's dropped in the Taken King and bring it up and wear it, but I want to be able to bring my year one stuff up and, use that just for the aesthetics of it,
Yeah, no
really
question,
cool.
dude. Well, you guys think on it too, Derp Fam, and tweet us at Destiny Reset what you think and if you'd like to see it in the game or not.
Yep. Always a hot topic.
Yeah, man, for sure. So we got a community spotlight here. If you saw our Twitter feed this week, we sent this out because this pretty much sums up the whole Derp family experience, and we hope it continues to be that way, man.
Yeah.
But our buddy BitDead, he sent us an email, and we're just gonna read most of it to you. It said, after listening to this week's podcast, which was the last episode, I found myself agreeing with the fantastic community that Destiny has created and also this amazing group that is the Derp Fam. I feel at home here, and it's all down to how welcome I've been made to feel, and no matter when I speak on GroupMe, I will always get an answer. I've never known such a thing. I love that last thing, dude. I've never known such a thing. It's so cool to have this in a gaming community.
Yeah.
What we didn't mention on the tweet is that he also said he was trying to think of a way that he could say thank you to everyone, and that he'd like to donate $10 in silver, and that he hopes he can provide that for somebody. So we'll down the road here, we'll figure out a way to get that to you guys and pick a random winner and a giveaway like we've done in the past. But this kind of thing is just so cool, dude. It's so neat how awesome the Derp Fam is to each other, and you guys are what's keeping it that way. So
yeah, that's
good
awesome,
stuff,
man. But thanks for the email, and
yeah, thank you.
Thanks for giving back to the community. I think that there's definitely a spirit of giving in our community. I want to keep seeing that grow. So thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right, we got some shout outs this week.
Yeah, dude, I just want to do a quick shout out. I kind of already did to Joe, Manny, you, Cyborg, for that Nightfall run, Darth Digits, and you for helping me with the Black Spindle. And I gave a shout out to my hard mode challenge, Oryx Clear. So
yeah, man, you had a bunch of people this week.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks, of course, to my Trials team as well. So
yeah,
yep. How about you, dude?
I think we had one on here. Congratulations to David, also known as Hoppy Kez, on clearing his first hard mode raid over the holidays, and he also completed all the challenge modes. Very cool, man.
Yeah, very good stuff.
He's a Titan too, right?
Yes, fellow Titan. Yeah, he emailed us. I always like when you guys email us that stuff and just what you're experiencing in the game. And Cyborg and I like to hear that. And the stories too. We keep saying it, man. Send us your stories that happen throughout the week with the Derp Fam. We want to share that stuff with everybody.
Yep. So. And we got to give a shout out to our buddy Ignite. He participated in that big PvP tournament this past weekend. I think he said he made it to the 3rd round. So congrats on that, buddy. Keep working hard, man. I know you were practicing for what seemed like weeks. I would check on you, and you're in those classic modes, classic 3s, classic whatever, and so congrats on making it that far, man. Keep it up. I know you'll make it further every time you participate. So you guys give Ignite a follow. He is an awesome streamer, plays a lot of PvP, really cool guy.
Yep, good stuff, dude.
Glad
you mentioned that. Yeah, dude, good show this week.
Absolutely, man. Always fun to tune in with you guys. If you want to find us, you can always find us at Destiny Reset. You can find us at DestinyResetPodcast.com. Where can they find you, Arrow?
You can find me at The Arrow Knight on Twitter, Arrow Knight on Twitch and YouTube. That's with the 0.
Right,
how about you, man?
You can find me at Cyborg Sasquatch on Twitter.
Cool, dude. Well, like he said, visit the .com, guys. You can find everything you need. And also, we always like to mention the forum post on our Bungie group. It's for new and current users. You guys can find everything you need, all links to get to everything Derp Fam related. So
absolutely. Give that a look if you haven't yet.
Yep, for sure, guys. So, as usual, guys, until next week, have fun playing Destiny and take care, Guardians.
Will Arrow ever complete the entire raid? And will Cyborg get off his high horse about Grimoire scores and realize he's a total scrub? Find out next time on the next Destiny Reset.
How nice, dude.
We'll Dragon Ball Z for you.
That's our voice.